Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and it's Sunday morning, and there's some lightning, and I'm going for an e-bike ride, and we just had a little rain just an hour or so previous to this, but when I came along here on my bike, I thought, well, I'm going to take a look at that sunrise, coming through there, and what I'm planning on doing, since it's Sunday, I'll have to get out on a kind of a busy road, and I'm going to ride over to where my grandson started school a week or so ago in a new school. Haven't been there yet. And while I do, I will tell as much of a story as I can. And this is the dirt road I take, that I like to take. That's where I dislocated my shoulder. Anyway, so I'm 80 if you haven't been following my channel, and I've been relaying stories that I remember from throughout my life. And right now I'm at the point of where I got a job at a Christian radio station, and I worked there for 15 years. And it was, like I said, one of the most fun jobs I ever had. Now you'll notice here there's water on the road, and I'm looking up because that rain coming down right there is coming my direction, and I'm having some doubts about whether or not this is a good idea. But as it turned out, it didn't hit me. So anyway, I came in through the HOA, and then I'll head out to the road, and we'll get on towards the school. So anyway, I worked there 15 years, and I saw the pastor change. I'll just put it that way. From telling people about Jesus and that being the main thing that he was interested in, to when the church grew and lots of money started coming in, he changed. And the reason I only worked there 15 years is because there was this couple of things that I noticed that weren't right about what he was doing with the finances. And finally, there's my friend Gary. I hollered at him and said hi. Finally, he came in one day into the station while I was running it, and wanted me to, he told me we weren't making enough money on the station, and of course that was not true. But anyway, so that started a conversation, and I told him that I knew that he was not handling the money properly. And at that point, he swore at me a lot, told me I needed to look for a new job. Now that's the rainstorm that we were looking at that had the thunder and lightning in it, and it looks to me like I might be running into it. I keep feeling some little sprinkles. So anyway, he told me I needed to find a new job. Well, I didn't find one immediately, but I eventually did find a job working for a boys' boarding school. It was a Christian one for troubled teenage boys, and they needed somebody to be an administrator to satisfy the state of Washington's requirements. So I was the administrator, and it was in now I'm pulling in here because there's a little few more sprinkles than there were, and I'm thinking, is it going to get worse or is it going to get better? So I got underneath that shelter, and pretty soon it started getting better, so I continued my trip. So anyway, they hired me there, and I was the administrator for the school. And that was kind of a neat place because it was an old radar site from back in the 50s, and it had the control room and everything for the Nike missiles. They could have launched missiles from that site. It had all, by the way, now there I am. I'm at my grandson's school. And so I rode around the backside and turned around and came back because that's about all there was to it. But anyway, so and there was just all kinds of neat things. They had a shop, a 4-bay shop with a nice welder, and that's where my son learned to weld so well. He just played around with it and got better and better at it. And so I worked there, and we had a lot of fun. In fact, I built an airstrip it was up on the top of a hill in central Washington, pretty high hill. That's why they had the radar base there. They had radar towers and everything. And it had been donated to the guy the person who bought it from the government when they closed it down. Now, we're getting to a place where I'm going to stop telling you the story, so now you know I'm working someplace else in the story of my life. This field right here, I flew my drone here. In fact, I'll put some links to it way back 5-6 years ago when I had my Bebop 2. And I found it on Google Earth when I was looking for a good place to go fly. And I thought, well, this will be ideal. And as you can see, it's just wide open. Well, it's an abandoned airstrip that was actually used 80 years ago. It's about the same age as I am. And it was used during World War II to train pilots for service well, back then it was called the Army Air Corps. And that's the Google Earth view, and the arrow shows where we're standing down there and looking at it. Anyway, so I'll put some links. And it was an auxiliary field to Williams Field, which was the main training ground back during the war. 25% of all the pilots that fought in the Pacific War and in Europe were trained at Williams Field. And so it is kind of meaningful to me because having been a pilot, and I know that especially the B-17 guys, a lot of them didn't come back. And so anyway, I love my country, and when I think about all the things that the guys did, it's amazing to me. So anyway, I'll tell you more about my experience at the boys' boarding school. And that's my trip. I wanted to go take a look at this field because of all the memories I have from flying my drone there. So take a look at some of the links, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and God bless.